In the Guiana Highlands of South America, there are sheer tabletop mountains that soar high above the jungle. The largest of these, standing 2,560 meters high, is Auyantepui. Auyantepui is the home of Angel Falls, the world's highest waterfall. It is an isolated arc of evolution. This program marks the first time that a television crew has entered this remote environment. Auyantepui is a lost world, isolated from its surroundings. The journey into the unknown is about to begin. Welcome to the Great Summits. This episode will take you to Auyantepui in the Guiana Highlands of Venezuela. The adventure begins at the airport in Ciudad Bolivar. Climbers usually travel to the Guiana Highlands by plane. It's early November, and the dry season has just begun as the camera crew sets its course for Auyantepui. After flying 2 hours over dense jungle, the plane reaches the Guiana Highlands. There are more than 100 large tabletop mountains here. Auyantepui is one of the largest, rising to a height of 2,560 meters. Isolated from the rest of the world, the flat plateau on top is full of unique forms of life. It has an area of 700 square kilometers, slightly smaller than the area of New York City. The team arrives at a village in the foothills and boards a boat. They head up Devil's Canyon, which cuts deeply into the mountain. The waterway is blocked by huge boulders that fell from the rock walls, towering high above. After 4 hours of travel upstream, a majestic waterfall suddenly comes into view. This is Angel Falls. After its discovery in 1937, it was carefully measured and confirmed to be the highest waterfall in the world, with a drop of 979 meters. This is the base of the falls. As they approach, they discover something remarkable. Falling from such a great height, the water breaks up into tiny droplets. The base of the falls is nothing but a jumble of wet rocks. There's no pool. The team is caught by surprise soon after they arrive.
Wow!
Storm-like conditions suddenly erupt under the falls.
Wow!
During the long trip down, the large amounts of falling water churn the air, creating violent wind and rain. Angel Falls is almost 1 kilometer high. What kind of world will be found at its crest up above? The village of Uriyen lies in the southern foothills of Auyantepui. It's the starting point for the expedition.
Hola. Hola.
The camera crew joins forces with Venezuelan mountaineers and researchers. This expanded team will head for the top and make its way across the plateau to the crest of Angel Falls.
Bienvenidos a Uruyen.
Henry Gonzalez is the main guide. He's one of a very small number of mountaineers who have climbed the route the team will take. Although the Auyantepui Plateau is very broad, there's only one way to get to the crest of Angel Falls. Uriyen village lies on the opposite side of the mountain from the falls. The team must pass through meadows and jungle before climbing the steep walls to the top. It will take 4 days to complete the climb. Another 10 days will be needed to cross the plateau to the crest of the falls. In total, the trip will take about 2 weeks.
En total, ¿cuántos kilómetros son aproximados?
55 kilómetros.
55
desde que sales de Uruyen hasta el Salto Ángel, más o menos. Acuérdate que esos 55 kilómetros son muy irregular, realmente fuera mucha más distancia, ¿no?
Oh, yeah.
Vamos a subir la segunda muralla, que es una pared de 250 metros donde hay un camino pequeño, y vamos a pasar un lugar que se llama Los Laberintos. ¿Ok?
Auyantepui is so remote that no one has made an accurate map of it. Henry's experience is the key to success.
Es como
Local villagers will be hired to help with the luggage. Four-wheel drive vehicles are used to penetrate the trackless jungle. They arrive at a village of the Pemon people.
Está aquí Massa, que es nuestro director. Él va a ser nuestro líder de porteadores. Olegario. Olegario va a reunir a los porteadores. Massa es nuestro director.
The team is served a kind of alcohol made of cassava.
Se llama cachire, ¿verdad? La bebida que toman los pemones aquí. ¿Te gusta?
Sí. Como la cerveza Pemón.
Cerveza Pemón.
Yeah.
The village children sing and dance to welcome the visitors. They wear clothing made of banana leaves. With a shared ancestry, the Pemon people have facial characteristics similar to Asians. Very few European settlers penetrated the isolated regions far from the cities. This has enabled the native peoples to maintain their own unique culture. The Pemon people have lived here in the Guyana Highlands since ancient times. They still venerate Auyantepui as a sacred mountain.
Na sene Auyantepui da mai alu jima gana eurandru ita de gana pena vita de mai mata to ne bebra de putu ne tna mai no pe gana yara te de manem bar umambo mai kono eto itona yuma rene putu ma chindu bunga putu pidu chindu Pergene sa de bembe yamane mawe kono ye bundu ari bembe ituna to ko mita bodu pura ya me jango ye bu ese don gonna ye porovi nakke da muy bide tu pose ne bu ma ore ko me mai me jango ye sal to ri putu no chiro ora lo bura na mu ipono.
The day of departure dawns. More than 20 porters have been recruited for the expedition. With food, tents, cameras, and other equipment, the team must carry a total load of almost 700 kilograms.
¿Estás listo ya? Con trípode. Vamos a empezar ya a caminar.
It's 10 in the morning on the 16th of November. The team begins its journey to the crest of Angel Falls, which they expect will take about 2 weeks. They begin by hiking through grasslands that have no shade. The tropical sun beats down on them as they walk. It's 34 degrees centigrade. Here at the equator, heat is a constant enemy. The next day, they find themselves walking through scrub brush and come within sight of tall rock walls. These great barriers of stone seem impregnable to all landbound visitors. From here to the top, there's an altitude gain of 1,200 meters. The topmost rock wall alone is 600 meters high. It's hard to know where to start climbing.
El Libertador está aquella punta que se ve ahí como la media luna.
Sí, sí.
Eso es Libertador, aquella punta de allá.
There's only one way to the top. A crevice in the wall leads them up behind a stony peak. On the third day of the expedition, they camp beside a large boulder.
¿Cuánto?
1765.
Cada vez más cerca de la cumbre.
Members of the camera crew set up their tents. Meanwhile, the porters hang their hammocks on poles they stick into the cracks in the rock. They look very comfortable. It's time for dinner. The main dish is pasta in tomato sauce with olives and sausage. Plenty of grated cheese is sprinkled on top with a side dish of boiled bananas.
Bueno, ¿no?
Está bueno.
Quedó buena.
The hardest part is still ahead. They'll have to climb a sheer rock wall to reach the top of the plateau. The next day, the team continues their climb up a steep, brushy slope to reach the rock wall. After an hour, they reach the foot of the wall. An overpowering presence. It soars straight up above their heads. This is the entrance to the crevice that leads to the top. It's the only way to climb Auyantepui. They rely on ropes that are anchored in the rock.
Eso. Arriba. La mano arriba. Ajá. Ajá. Eso. Ayúdalo ahí, el legario. Eso.
In the afternoon, the rain falls more heavily. The wet rock is slippery, making the climb even more dangerous. They have no choice but to keep climbing with single-minded determination. The team encounters an open hole among the piled-up boulders. About 50 meters long, it's the last major obstacle they must overcome. Shortly after 3 in the afternoon, they finally reach the top.
Grande, enorme.
This is what it looks like atop the plateau of Auyantepui. They gained 2,000 meters in altitude during the climb. Now, on top, they find a vast area spreading before them, with its own hills and valleys. The top of Auyantepui is isolated from the surrounding terrain. It's a unique natural world that thrills explorers and scientists.
Yo creo que es de todos los tepuyes el tepuy más completo y más interesante para mí, pues un punto de vista. A nivel de flora, a nivel de fauna, a nivel de ríos, es el más completo y es el más interesante. Pues yo creo que esta es la número 14 que subo para Auyantepui, más o menos, creo. Para mí es el más importante, probablemente la montaña más importante en Venezuela.
It's the 6th day of the expedition. The team sets out for the crest of Angel Falls. This is the first time that television footage has been taken going across the top of Auyantepui. For a while, they descend a gentle slope. Rarely visited, the plateau is an unknown world. Some of the creatures here are completely different from those found anywhere else.
¿Qué hay?
La oriofrinela.
¿Oriofrinela?
Sí.
¿Dónde?
Aquí.
The Oreofrenella is a primitive kind of frog. It's known as a living fossil. Because its bone structure is incomplete, it's unable to jump and can only move at a slow crawl. Its lack of webbed feet makes it ill-suited to life in the water as well.
Solo como trepan y se arrastran, pero no brincan, y según es porque no tienen depredadores aquí en los tepuyes. Entonces evolutivamente no ha tenido esa presión de un depredador que le haga esa adaptación de escapar o de saltar, pues.
Left behind by evolution, the Oreofrenella retains its primitive form, unchanged. To date, 6 species of Auyantepui have been identified. They've been found on other mountains, but their belly coloration varies depending on location. The Auyantepui is considered a living specimen typical of the evolutionary laboratory that is the Guyana Highlands. Table Mountains have a distinctive shape that was produced by great natural forces. Hundreds of millions of years ago, the Earth had just one gigantic continent. The region that is now the Guyana Highlands had several lakes with sandy sediment at the bottom. About 200 million years ago, part of the Earth's hot mantle came to the surface. This rising mass pushed the strata containing the lake beds high up into the air. The pressure that was exerted also created many deep fissures. Later, rain and erosion further deepened these fissures, creating the tabletop mountains that we see today. On the 9th day of the expedition, the team heads downward along a river. This is the source of the Chudun River, the largest stream on top of Auyantepui. The waters of the Guyana Highlands are the color of tea. More than 400 centimeters of rain falls here annually. This large amount of precipitation leaches tannin from the plants, which turns the water brown. No fish live in the river. But there are other unique organisms that make their home here. A fascinating cave cricket is found. Ordinarily, these crickets live on land, but this species has developed organs similar to gills, which seem to enable them to breathe underwater. On the 11th day of the expedition, the team leaves the Chudun River and climbs a ridge in search of the crest of Angel Falls. Exposed by rain, large boulders lie jumbled on top of each other. The climbers must use their entire bodies to clamber over them, one at a time. They arrive at the top of the ridge, which forms one of the peaks on the plateau. From a height of 1,800 meters, they look back on the route they've hiked. Far in the distance, they can see the edge of the mountains that mark where the plateau ends. Those mountains are about 500 meters higher than where the team now stands. They must still go over several small hills on their way to the crest of Angel Falls. As they approach the falls, the number of trees increases with more greenery. The path is only faintly suggested beneath their feet as they advance. The environment here is very different from the rocky land they had been hiking in until the previous day. They find themselves in a wet forest, surrounded by a rich variety of plant life. They also catch glimpses of more animals. Camilo, the biologist, spots a bird about the size of a pigeon.
Fíjese, acabamos de ver una gallineta endémica, una gallina de monte, le dicen, endémica de los tepuyes. Sí, muy difícil de ver. Son animales de bosque y rastreros. Entonces siempre andan como escondidos y se alejan al paso. Fue mucha suerte haber visto ese animal. Sí. Él vuela, pero tiene un vuelo muy corto y anda por el piso a rastrera.
Sí.
Como caminando en el piso y vuelos corticos, como las gallinas, ¿no? Le dicen gallina de monte.
Henry finds an unusual lizard.
Mira. Qué bonito.
Qué bonito, ¿ya lo habías visto aquí?
No. Así con eso no. Con esta parte no. Sí, habrá que ver en el libro de que...
If touched, the lizard extends a skin membrane from its neck. This is another species that's believed to be unique to the Guiana Highlands. On the 15th day of the expedition, the team heads to their final campsite. This area is at an altitude of about 1,700 meters. The forest has grown even thicker. Pushing aside vines, the team works their way through the thickets. Suddenly, the view clears in front of them.
Otro lado de Auyantepui.
Otro lado de Auyantepui. Para allá,
Ajá.
está Libertador.
Ahora,
Estamos cerca del salto ya.
¿sí?
Sí.
Qué bueno.
Bonito, ¿no? Fíjate.
Sí, llegamos.
Llegamos.
Cañón de Diablo.
Cañón del Diablo. Todo eso.
Sí.
The team climbed up steep rock walls from the village in the foothills, then followed the Chudun River. From there, they climbed over several hills to reach the edge of the plateau on the opposite side, where they can view Devil's Canyon. It has taken them 15 days to reach this point. Angel Falls is close by. To get to their final camp, they must hike along the top of a sheer wall that looks out over Devil's Canyon.
Llegamos.
Finalmente.
Último.
Último campamento. Y el río Querepacupay, que es el Salto Ángel, baja por ese cañón hasta el final.
The Querepacupay River flows right next to the camp and continues on to the falls. It forms a small waterfall about 10 meters high and flows through a narrow crack in the rocks. It's only about 100 meters from here to Angel Falls. However, the piles of rock are loose and treacherous, making it impossible to approach the falls along the river. They hike along the rim of the plateau to position themselves where they can get a good view. The edge of the plateau is a rocky tract cut by several fissures. Ropes are used to ensure safety.
Y suelta la cuerda ya, o bueno, háblate de la que está allá del lado.
Te vas a montar aquí y te voy a jalar. Sí.
Déjalo,
No te falta. Sacarle. Eso. Vamos.
Listo, ahora sí te suelta. Ahí es el pasito, si vaya a echar la seca, y él estaba mojado.
Directly below them, there's a sheer rock wall that plunges straight down 1,000 meters.
Bien, muy bien. Bien, está todo excelente y lo vas bien.
Gracias.
Gozamos.
Gracias.
This is the crest where Angel Falls originates.
Ya, bueno. 19.
Buena, Camilo. No, Diego, felicitaciones.
Qué bien, hermano. Una bulla por el salto. Otra bulla por Japón.
But they can't see the entire falls from this vantage point. So they climb down to a slightly lower ledge.
Wow. 怖い？怖くない気持ちいいな。すごいよ。浮いてるよ。わお。
Water spurting from the rock wall plunges straight down. Angel Falls is the highest waterfall in the world. This is how it looks from the top of Auyantepui. A rainbow shimmers in the air. It's a spectacle of light that rewards the team after many days of exploration.
decimos nosotros, el Auyantepui es como nuestro Everest, ¿sabes? Es como el gran reto, ¿no? Para los escaladores, y creo que también es el gran reto para hacer grandes travesías cruzando el Tepuy. Creo es muy variado, pues hay mucho por hacer, todavía hay cosas por descubrir en esta montaña, pienso yo.
Angel Falls was discovered by the outside world more than 70 years ago. Despite all those years, this was the first time that a television camera crew had crossed the vast plateau and filmed the falls at its crest. Auyantepui is a monument to the forces of nature that have shaped our planet over millions of years. It is truly a lost world in the sky.